Lucas had done everything right, or so it seemed. He got up early, worked hard, paid attention to the details, and kept telling himself that effort would eventually show. But lately, every time he opened his phone, it felt like the world had found a way to quietly rub his face in everyone else's success. There was a mate posting from a beach villa in Queensland. Someone from his old school had just announced a promotion. Another couple had shared a photo so polished, so perfectly lit, it looked like they'd stepped out of a travel brochure rather than real life. Lucas would stare at those posts and feel it happening again, that strange, sinking sensation in the chest. Not jealousy exactly, more like a slow, uncomfortable question. Why does everyone else seem to be moving forward while I'm stuck here? At dinner one night, he said it out loud without meaning to. I know it sounds ridiculous, he muttered, pushing peas around his plate, but it feels like everyone else is winning at life, and I've missed the memo. His partner looked up and gave him a sympathetic half-smile. You're comparing your behind-the-scenes to everyone else's best angle, she said. And that was the thing, wasn't it? We don't usually compare our full, messy, ordinary lives to the full, messy, ordinary lives of others. We compare our private doubts to their public highlights. Their holiday snaps, their good news, their filtered smiles. Social media doesn't show the traffic jam before the sunrise photo, the argument before the romantic dinner shot, or the 10 rejected job applications before the promotion post. It gives us the applause, not the rehearsals. That's where social comparison theory comes in. It sounds academic, but it describes something deeply human. Our brains are constantly trying to understand where we fit, what we've achieved, and whether we're doing okay. A bit of comparison can help us orient ourselves. But when it tips too far, it can start to distort everything, especially when we're looking upward, at people we believe are doing better than us. Upward comparison can inspire us, sure, but can also quietly chip away at confidence, leaving us feeling smaller, older, and somehow behind. And if you've ever scrolled for just a few minutes and somehow ended up feeling like your own life is less impressive, less exciting, less enough, well, you're not imagining it. The tricky part is that the more Lucas scrolled, the worse he felt, and the worse he felt, the more he scrolled. It was as if the phone knew exactly where to poke. But what if the problem isn't that everyone else's life is better? What if we're just looking at it through a lens designed to make us feel like we're always one step behind? Lucas didn't wake up one morning and decide to ruin his own mood. It happened in tiny moments, the kind most of us barely notice. A quick scroll before breakfast. A glance at a colleague's promotion post. A photo of someone's holiday in Santorini. Perfectly lit, perfectly timed, with a caption that made their life seem effortless. Meanwhile, Lucas was sitting at his kitchen table with cold toast, a work email already waiting, and that familiar feeling creeping in. Why does everyone else seem to be winning at life? That's the trap. Not because Lucas was weak or ungrateful or somehow less capable than the people on his screen. It's because the human brain is built to compare. Social psychologists call this social comparison theory, and it explains something very simple but powerful. We use other people as a reference point to figure out where we stand. Am I doing okay? Am I behind? Am I enough? The trouble starts when the comparisons become constant, and worse, when they're tilted in one direction. Upward comparison is what happens when we look at someone we think is doing better than us. A more successful career, a fitter body, a happier marriage, a more stylish house. On paper, it can be motivating. Sometimes it pushes us to improve, to aim higher, to stop settling. But when it's relentless, it doesn't inspire us. It grinds us down. Lucas felt that every time he opened his phone. One friend had bought a new boat. Another had posted about a dream job. A former classmate was celebrating 20 years of marriage with a caption so polished it could have been written by a greeting card company. Lucas started looking at his own life like it was somehow lagging behind. He'd go quiet, a little sharper with his partner, a little more frustrated at work. Nothing seemed good enough anymore. And yet, what he was seeing wasn't the whole story. It was the highlight reel. The smiling holiday snap didn't show the argument on the drive there. The promotion post didn't show the years of stress behind it. The romantic photo didn't reveal the hard conversations, the routine, the compromise. But our brains don't always remember that when the feed keeps moving. That's where algorithms make things even trickier. They learn what catches your eye and serve up more of it. More success, more beauty, more performance, more proof that everyone else is living better, faster, fuller lives. It's not just a habit anymore. It becomes a loop. Still, there's another side to comparison, and this is where things get interesting. When we notice someone who's worse off, or simply struggling in a way that reminds us we've made it through similar storms, that's downward comparison. Used carefully, it can bring perspective, a bit of gratitude, a reminder that our own life, messy as it may be, still contains real strengths. And that's the question worth sitting with. Are you comparing yourself in a way that helps you grow, or one that slowly convinces you you're falling behind? Lucas didn't suddenly stop comparing himself to everyone else. It wasn't that neat. Real life rarely gives us a perfect breakthrough scene with music swelling in the background. What changed was quieter than that.